I know it's early, guys, but rather than actually shoot a video, I decided to just go live. Go live to talk about it. I'm actually going to make 2 live videos this morning. Okay. Good morning, whoever you are. I see someone's up at the crack of dawn. So what I was saying was I'm going to be making 2 live videos this morning on 2 separate topics, okay? And this one I'm talking about the allies post-narcissistic abuse. And I really want to focus on, drilling in the point that the narcissist friends and family are not going to be your ally. Some of you have formed relationships with people that was introduced to you through the narcissist. Good morning, Chris. And I don't want you to be naive to think that they're going to side with you over the narcissist who might be their family. Even if they know this person is a piece of shit, their alliances are going to be with them. So when you're going no contact, when you're pulling away from the narcissist, they're not the people to be confiding in. Okay, no matter how cordial and how polite and nice and kind they were to you while you were with the narcissist, okay? So telling them your master plans, the things that you plan on doing, don't do it, okay? And also consider, that's good. That's good, Chris, when you get to that place. But every day people are finding out about narcissistic abuse. Every day we have newcomers into the community. So I really like to make these messages, okay, so that people aren't, further jamming themselves up, like they have enough to deal with just breaking away from the narcissist. And my second live chat was going to talk about that. Or maybe I should just make it all one big live chat. Then I would need to probably change the title of this. But I was just going to make this one to talk about, who isn't and who is your ally, and then make the other one about, breaking away from the narcissist. I think I am going to keep it separate. Yeah, maybe I'll do that too, Chris, but I just kind of wanted to pump this out, for those that are up this morning. But yeah, who can your allies be? If you really need someone to talk to, I just highly recommend going into therapy, honestly. Because the narcissists, they will try to go to even your friends and family and recruit them over, or to try to get them to talk some sense into you, especially for those of you who are in, marriages or long-term relationships. They're going to use those relationships to try to reel you back in. And your friends and family might innocently tell them your business and your plans, thinking that they're helping you guys get back together. Like, they might not fully understand. So you even have to be guarded with them, guys. Good morning to you too, Just Jamaica. My soon-to-be ex-narc mom saw for herself how evil her son was being to me, but refused to admit that her son did anything wrong. Yeah, because they take it as a reflection of them. A family member people see that as an extension of them. So even admitting that that person is like that, and that person came from your blood, and, and that was her son, so it's even more of an attachment there, So we can't get that confused, guys. Do not get that jammed up. Don't think that, hey, Tracy, don't think that the narcissist mom is going to take your side, even if she was very kind to you throughout the relationship. Even if she knows for a fact that her son did these things, you know? So I don't want you guys to get caught up in that. I don't want you to get caught up in that. So I'm wondering if I should just continue on with my second live chat or just, yeah. But your allies are really going to be yourself. It's going to be yourself. And it's going to be, good morning, Dee Dee, is going to be therapy. It's going to be therapy, especially early on, because you don't want things to leak back to the narcissist. And it's hard. Okay? So we got to keep our mouth shut and understand that they're going to try to go after the people that they deem to be closest to us. That's what they're going to try to do. All right? So maybe I'll just go on with the next one. And my next live chat was basically going to talk about escaping or breaking away from the narcissist. Because a lot of people don't know how to do this, and it does need to be addressed, okay? Because people are feeling trapped. They're feeling confused, manipulated, and played, devastated, crushed over the infidelities, the lies. They're enraged, angry, furious. They're feeling a lot of hurt and sorrow. You may also be feeling enlightened because you figured out what it is at this point, okay? So, you finally found some validation. And, we know that's something that the narcissist doesn't give us. And you'll want to tell the world. You want to, say this out loud. But it's going to be very important not to tell the narcissist, okay? Don't tell the narcissist don't tell them that you know that they're a narcissist when you're planning to break away from them. And there's different levels to this, of course. But let me go down through some reasons why I don't want you to tell the narcissist or out them when you're in the process of planning your breakaway from them. Okay, they're going to shift you into, I know. Elizabeth, you told them, good morning, Lynn. They're going to shift into the devalue and discard phase, because they always want to one-up you. And since they're always planning that discard with you, they're typically already ahead of you in the game. Okay, they're already planning for the day that the relationship is going to end. So by you not outing them, it actually gives you time to catch up to them and surpass them in that planning stage. Because they're not going to see it coming per se if you're going along with the normal routine, so to speak, and you haven't outed them. They're going to think everything is where it is right now. Okay, so you need time to catch up to them because they've already been laying those bricks from day one. So now you get to catch up to them, all right, and surpass them even. The other thing is, in part of the narcissist getting ahead of you, especially for those of you that are married, they can start hiding assets. They can start hiding evidence from you. Yep, and that was going to be my number 2 reason why not to do it. They're going to have fury, but we're going to get into that in a second, okay? So they're going to try to hide evidence. They're going to try to hide assets, and they're going to turn up the smear campaign against you now. So by keeping your mouth shut, you're giving yourself all this advantages, and they're going to have less time to attack on you. And then by the time you actually say something, good morning, Chinchetta. They're going to be on the defense. They're not going to have time. They're going to be scrambling, but boom, it's already set up, bitch. So you don't want them to be able to hide those assets and stuff. For some of you that have been in the marriage for a very long time, you want to get your just due. Okay? And if you really want to expose a narcissist, the best way to do it is on your way out the door. On your way out the door, and it's like your last words to them. You could do it in that sense, but at that point, you've dotted all your I's and you've crossed all your T's, okay? So don't do it when it's going to put you in a vulnerable situation, because then you're just flowing off of your emotions, and that's going to backfire on you. It feels good to say it in that second, but with everything that's going to come with it, you don't want that, all right? So the next thing that I'm going to say about why you're not going to tell the narcissist that you know they're a narcissist when you're planning to break away from them is because it's going to be less stress on you. Because you're definitely going to cause a narcissistic injury, which is going to result in a narcissistic rage, which is going to result in arguments and confrontations. And this can be even, stressful for your children as well. Okay? This is going to be stressful for your children as well if you have those in your marriage. All right? And this could lead to like violence, when, especially for those of you that are married, the higher you are, the more entangled you are with this narcissist and you go to discard them and walk away and out them, the more painful, the harder of a reaction they could have to you, okay? So you don't want to put yourself in that type of situation, because this is going to stir up the rage on another level. Like, they're losing a lot right now, okay? So, and overall, you don't want to give them that heads up, because they're just going to try to gaslight you. They're going to tell you that you're overreacting. They're going to downplay the situation. They're going to try to turn the tables around on you at that point, okay? So that's another reason why. And you're already kind of in a delicate emotional state once you're figuring out this is a narcissist. So when you're going to them, you're getting into the thick of healing, even just realizing things. You're not in a state really to be adding more to your plate. And that's what you're going to add when you actually say it out loud to them, all right? So those are some reasons why you want to keep your mouth shut, okay? And you don't want to rob and cheat yourself, like I said earlier, from financial benefits or anything like that. For those of you that are married, because I want you to consult a lawyer, and they might say something. Let's say you were married to the narcissist for 9 years, and you go consult the lawyer, you tell them about your situation, and the lawyer says, well, and you're getting to the financial end of things, and they say, well, if you're married to the narcissist for at least 10 years, you'll be entitled to their pension. So you go out the narcissist, tell them that you're going to divorce them, and maybe the timing could have been better if you could have dragged it out for another year, if there's no danger to you and your health and your safety. And then you might want to plan it out. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to rob or cheat yourself of any benefits or financial gains. You don't want to give them a heads up to be able to hide assets under their mama's name or their secondary supply, who they're going to promote after you. And then, oh, I didn't even know he had that vacation home that they're living in now. So, you just want to be careful with that. So you're definitely going to want to consult a lawyer and tell them about their narcissistic ways. You're going to want to gather your evidence of the infidelities. You want to gather financial reports, things that they might try to make hard for you to get once they know you're on the bad side. But, let's say it was tax season or something. Hey, honey, do you have these reports? Or, hey, I'm setting up a file cabinet for us. Can I get this information? I'm trying to get us organized, babe. The IRS is you can find ways to get the information from them when they think that you're playing nice with them, okay? So it's easier. And to document any abuse as well. If you're trying to get into their phone records and stuff like that, if you have the passwords to their phone and stuff, once you out them and let them know that you're leaving them, they're going to change their password. They might change their phone, do all these things. So you don't want to lose the advantages of the preparation and the gathering of things. If you guys have joint bank accounts or anything like that, you'll want to also, be careful with that. Because I've heard of narcissists, they outed the narcissist, and the next day the narcissist took all the money out the account, So talk to your lawyer about these things, and just so that you can keep yourself in a better position there, okay? And it gives you time to figure out, what do you want out of this divorce, if it's a divorce, you know? What do you want what do you need? What do you want in preparation for this? Where are you going to live? Are you trying to try to maintain or keep the household? If there's children involved, child support, spousal support, all these things, like, it gives you time to really think about stuff. All right. And you're also going to want to build your emotional support if you haven't done so already. And how could you do that? Definitely through coming to YouTube channels like this and just really learning about what you're dealing with and what you are facing. Getting yourself into counseling, joining support groups. I have a Facebook support group under Lakia Reflection and Progression Crawford on Facebook. That's in a link under all my videos. It'll be under this one afterwards, okay? Getting yourself into therapy. Definitely prayer and meditation life need to be increased, you know, because you're going to go... A divorce from a non-narcissist is rough, you know? But, you know, it's going to be that much more when it's from a narcissist, because we know how they drain your energy, because they're spiritual vampires. And I made a video about this yesterday. Hold on, let me see what this is down here. Oh, okay. And what is this? Okay, I'm not going to do that. All right, I was trying to get that out of there. Do it from a throwaway phone and dip out. Yeah, I was going to get into it for you. Are a blessing. I've learned from you a lot. You are so welcome, Elizabeth. Get a lawyer that know what these creatures are. A pit bull lawyer. Well, Elizabeth, a pit bull lawyer that can keep their emotions in check, of course, you know, because we know how the narcissists like to play it cool, calm, and collective. You don't want your lawyer to be angry. They have to have, you know, their emotions in check, okay? Because we basically want to make a clean break, you know, a clean break from the narcissist. And that's what I want to talk about. But you have to prepare yourself for this mentally. Aw, thank you, Eleanor. God bless you too. When you're about to break away from the narcissist, you have to be prepared for your emotions, your flesh, your strongholds, your vulnerabilities will be triggered, okay? It's going to be triggered, and you have to prepare yourself for this mentally, all right? They will trigger you once they know, because they're already doing it anyway. That's how they're manipulating you, but they're going to trigger it in an even more negative sense at that point. All right, so let's talk about the different tiers, per se, of breaking away from a narcissist. And let's start with someone that you're just dating. And also this could go for if you're befriending a narcissist or they're an associate with you. So you're not living together, you're not married, you don't have children. There's no financial entanglements, per se, or investments. How are you going to break away from this person? Well, you could ghost them. You can ghost them and go no contact, all right? Or you could discard them and just simply say something like, I'm no longer interested, you know? When you're dating them, I'm no longer interested. Boom. You don't have to say anything else. You want to say less. You don't want to send them paragraphs of how you've profoundly seen the light and seen all this stuff about them and pointing out all the things or the straw that broke the camel's back. There's no sense in doing that with people like this, because they're just going to try to draw you into a further conversation. And this isn't up for debate. That's why you need to keep it real simple and clean, okay? Because I'm trying to tell you how to break away in the cleanest fashion. After you tell them that, and by text is best, because you don't want that back and forth. Yes, I was going to move to, Tracy said, I said it's not working, get out. I was going to go to as far as when you're living together. I was going to go to that tier next, but this is on the lightest level. Okay, you don't owe them anything. You're just dating, and if you're befriending them or they're an associate, okay. All right. Just understand that no matter how you break away from them, you will be causing a narcissistic injury, and that can always result in some type of narcissistic rage or rebuttal, to you. All right. So let's go to the next tier that I have on here, which is the supposed committed relationship. Supposed. Okay. Now this is for the non-married committed. And I'm always, these are quotes, committed, because we know that they cheat and, they're never really committed to anything but your supply. And even that's interchangeable. Okay. So for the non-committed that aren't living together, you can also discard them. I'm sorry, not non-committed. For the committed that's not living together. So you're in a committed relationship, but you're not cohabitating. You can also just say, I'm no longer interested. This isn't working for me. Same thing for them. But if you are living together, I guess, there's going to be some factors involved in that. If you're living in their place, if they're living in your place, if your name is on the lease, whose name is, on the lease. And then there may be some legal things that you would have to do. Typically, most states just have to give the person 30 days notice, and it's best to give them that in writing. I'm just looking for another piece of paper here, and I hope that I didn't leave it upstairs. So if it's that kind of situation, you would give them, and it's your place, you would give them that 30 days notice. If they've been staying with you for a certain amount of time, or if they have mail coming to your house, I believe you have to give them, you typically have to give them the 30 days notice. If they have mail coming to your house, and let's say, I think if they've been living with you for, it varies by the state. It could be 30 days or 60 days. Okay? But just put it in writing with them, and expect for them to be very unpleasant for that time, honestly. And if it's their place and your name is not on the lease, before you out them, have your situation set up to knowing where you're going to go. Of course, unless you're in a situation where your safety is at risk. Maybe there's domestic violence or something like that. And if that's the case, guys, there are safe houses and there are shelters, and hopefully you might have a friend or a family member, and you may not even have to resort to the safe houses and shelters, but they do have those resources. I've done it myself in my lifetime where I've gone to a safe house. So you can do that as well. All right. And then for those of you that are married, we just was talking about that in the beginning of the video, to not out them and gathering your evidence and talking to a lawyer and not thinking that, people are going to be what you need them to be. Because like I said, the narcissist might manipulate them into getting your information. So if you've confided into them, or maybe they think you shouldn't be breaking up with the narcissist because they've never seen the real side of them. Remember in that movie with Tina Turner, and she was trying to get away from Ike, and she ran to her mother. She ran to her mother's house to rest and to get away from him, of course. But what did her mother do? Her mother turned her right back over to Ike. Well, I guess Ike knew that her support system wasn't that great, and that chances are that she went to her mother's house, and when he called the mother cooperated, The mother cooperated. She could have stood by her daughter's side and said, you know what? Stay away from my daughter. Don't worry about where she is. Like, she didn't have to confirm it. So this is an example right there of what I'm talking about. So you don't know, people have their own ideas of things. So and I've made videos about trust on my channel. So I really highly recommend you guys. I made at least 2 videos that specifically deals with the topic of who to trust and who not to trust in life. Okay? So watch those videos, guys. Watch those videos, and this is how you need to be in life. You know, this is how you need to be. So, but just, you know, you got to build that emotional support because it's hard enough to go through a divorce. Does anyone have any specific questions for me on this topic, or I guess any topic with narcissistic abuse? Exactly, Lynn. Exactly. Lynn says she doesn't even trust her own family. Trust. The whole thing, and what I generally talk about in my videos is, you know, and this is how we set ourselves up, thinking that other people are going to be like us, or that other people will even return the favor, you know. For instance, let's say you let a relative live with you so many times in your life, and now that you're going through this separation or divorce, or maybe there's a domestic violence, you think, I could surely go over to their house, and you assume that you can, and you out the narcissist, and you're like, hey, such and such, I need to come over there, and oh, I don't really have space. Oh, my man, you know, he won't even let his own mom come stay here, so I know he's not going to agree to this, and, you know, all these excuses. So I just don't want you to be setting yourself up in situations. Really dot your I's and cross your T's first so that you're not putting yourself in a worse situation. Now, like I said, there are times when you just have to go. And that is when your life and your health, your children's life and safety are at risk. And then most of the time in those situations, you can get the narcissist to have to go, not you. You could call the police and anything, you know, and report this, and they'll get that narcissist out of there. You don't have to be the one inconvenienced, you know, in certain instances. So, hold on, let me just go in the thread here. So, and yeah, and protect yourself as well. Elizabeth says, cut all connections with the creature, even if it's a friend, I believe she's saying, of a friend. Become a ghost to everyone, I guess. The evidence, make copies and spread them out. Yeah, I did that myself. And as far as spreading out the evidence, because I had at least befriended one person with this last narcissist, and I know he was talking smack about me and smearing me. So, you know, when he covertly sent me these really nasty text messages, I sent them right to his sister. I'm like, look, this is why I'm distancing myself from your brother. So, you know, whether she wanted to receive it or not, and I know that it might have put her in an awkward situation because she may know how her brother is, but she may not want to bash him to me or, you know, get involved or in the middle of it per se. But, you know, due to the nature of everything, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to tell her, I'm going to share this with her. You know, and she see it with her two own eyes, you know, whatever she want to make of it, she makes of it. But yeah, I've never just been that silent person. I've never been that silent person that was just going to sit back and take it. No, honey. Nope. I learned about that a long time ago. So when the family hear me say something, they know I've been said something about that. This ain't come out of the blue with me. So, but I've made videos about whether a person should speak up. This is one of my earlier videos. Okay. Any questions, guys? Any questions? I know it's early in the morning. But, you know, I really wanted to make that. Because a lot of people, you know, they feel trapped with the narcissist. They feel trapped. But, you know, we have to start emotionally breaking away, of course. Because I've talked to people who don't want to emotionally break away. Mm. Mm. Yeah, I would talk to your lawyer about that, Tracy. After the breakup, no one from his family asked me anything or contacted me. Yeah. I'm sure you weren't the worst, not the worst, I'm sure you weren't the first person that he's done this to. They're used to the cycle. They know. They do know this person. And honestly, sometimes birds of a feather flock together. So, chances are that narcissist that you are seeing isn't the only narcissist in his family. And they might be a lot like him than you think. So, sometimes they're narcissists as well. Or minimally, they're toxic and dysfunctional as well. Come on now, they got this big old family and the narcissist is the only narcissist in the family. Someone had to trigger that narcissism in that narcissist. So there's others somewhere. Eleanor says, should I contact his family members and let them know about the abuse? No. I mean, are you married to him or something, Eleanor? You don't owe them that explanation, but if you were married to him and you're divorcing him and you had a relationship with his mom, if you want to tell her, you can, but it's not really, most of the time they're not going to believe it, and the narcissist has already talked to them, and it's just going to sound like you're telling a bunch of lies now. And no mother wants to believe that about his son, about their son. So whatever you tell them, you could tell them, but just understand that they're probably not going to receive it. Are narcs created from childhood trauma? They usually are, Tracy. From what I'm reading and understanding, they usually are created from childhood. And they usually say it's two things. Either one of their parents was a narcissist, or one of their parents made them over entitled by overly spoiling them, so to speak, and not having boundaries with them and having them earn things and making them think the world revolves around them, and they just kind of stick into that mode. Good morning, Lisa. And Lisa Ling says, the ex-narc is going to get arrested very soon for domestic violence. Good. And he does not know it's coming. Would love to be a fly on the wall. Yeah. Is your fiance, Eleanor? Okay, well, and you guys sent out like wedding invitations and stuff like this? Yeah. You can say it. You can go ahead and say it. It doesn't mean that they'll believe it, but you can. You can out them. But just make sure you guys aren't living together and stuff. You're not in a situation where you're right up under each other, because he's definitely going to try to be wrathful to you. And they may or may not know, Eleanor, but the whole thing that I'm saying is they're less likely to believe you, even if they've seen him have a whole line of horrible relationships. That's what I'm trying to say about that. Yeah, hurt people do hurt people. Not all hurt people, but people that are hurting are the people that hurt other people. It's just not everyone. Some of us just hurt and we hurt ourselves, Some of us hurt and we retreat, but others hurt and they lash out. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be going out of the way to be overly explaining yourself to anybody and stuff like that. To his family, they're going to be partial to him. You need to understand that. Okay? You need to understand that. I should have bought my list of topics down here as well. I could have jumped into some other things. Let me see what I have written on here. But yes, be consulting a lawyer, guys. For those of you that are married. Good ways to co-parent. Well, keep communication down to a minimum. You know, written is great because, you know, they like to argue and they like to lie. So if you get it in writing, this is what they literally said. They can't really combat that, and they'll still try to. And keep your emotions out of it. Don't let them draw you into arguments. We're talking about co-parenting right now. And stay on topic. Be very black and white. All about the children. Okay, Eleanor wants to know what no contact is. No contact is when you cut off your availability, your energy, your communications with the narcissist. That's what no contact is. So once it's over with you and your fiance, that means you're not going to have phone calls. You're not going to text message. You're not going to be emailing each other. You're not going to be communicating via social media. You're not going to be meeting up and talking in person. You're not going to have anything to do with this person anymore. That is what no contact is. So no matter how many times you're blocking them from your life at this point. Right, nothing. No communication, right, Tracy? So you would be blocking them on your phone, just blocking them from your social media. Like, this person doesn't get to have a piece of you in any shape, form, or fashion anymore. That's what no contact is. That's like, I'm ultimately dumping you. I want nothing else to do with you. Okay? That's what that means. So, did you get what I was saying about the co-parenting, Tracy? Good ways to co-parent. Gray rock them as well. Take your emotions out of it. Don't let them. He's calling. Unavailable. Other numbers. Protective order. Wait, he has a protective order? Or you have one and he's still calling you from unavailable numbers? Don't answer numbers that aren't stored in your phone anymore, Eleanor. Don't answer numbers that aren't stored in your phone. Let people leave a voicemail, and then just start, once you see that it's him, start storing those numbers as do not answer, or just, you know, don't take unavailable numbers anyway. And if you have a protective order and he's not enforcing it, you could call the police. That'll get him arrested. Lisa Ling says, will the ex-narc lose control, or will he be very calm when he gets arrested? It depends on the narcissist, honestly. It depends on where he is. You know, they run off of emotions, but most narcissists tend to be able to keep themselves under control when it comes to those type of situations. You know, that's why they need supply, so they can unleash their nastiness covertly, you know. But an overt narcissist might be like a wild cage animal and make the situation worse. And, you know, sometimes lower range narcissists, they have the least amount of control over their emotions. So it really depends on the whole situation. If the person was already on, you know, how an argument can go from 0 to 100. If they were already on 100 and the police come, they got to come off of that a lot. So it really depends on them at that point and what was going on, what they're getting arrested for, how quickly the police came, did the situation die down any, like, I mean, so many factors would go into that, but it really depends. They could lose control. They would probably be trying not to because they don't want to look bad. They want to make you look bad, that you called the police for nothing, that they weren't doing anything wrong. You know, they want to protect their image usually. He doesn't care about our daughter. He uses her to mess with me, right? Narcissists don't care about anybody. They don't love anybody, and they just use their children. You know, this one narcissist has like 4 children with 3 different women, and he only really puts one of them up and promotes that one. The other two he does nothing for. The other one, he always going head to head with that mother, like, but he want to look like a good father, so he clings on to that one daughter, you know, so he can make his image look a certain way. But people don't really know. So Elizabeth says they will try the "it's an emergency" like they are dying. Yeah. Some of them are professional victims, and some of them, they'll try to play off of any gullibility. If they think, oh, this person is mad at me, but if I act like my life is on the line, they'll have mercy on me. They'll try to get mercy and grace from you and deny them of that. Let them get that from God. They know how to behave around the police. Yeah, they typically do. Right, and they typically don't. Tracy says her ex-narcissist has done nothing for her children. They only take care of the kids that have something to do with supply they're getting from the mom. So if you aren't a part of their current supply, then they don't care about the things that are attached to you, point blank. And anything they do for the kids is to get some kind of supply from you. Okay? Unless it's court ordered, then their arms are going to be twisted to do it, whether they're getting the supply or not. You know. Eleanor says she called the police after he hit her, and he used his charm and didn't go to jail. Now I'm fighting to defend my character and also get justice. Oh, that's weird. So you called the police to your home or to the location, and you told them this person just hit you, and he still didn't get arrested? I guess he denied that he had hit you, and yeah, that's, yeah. That is horrible, Eleanor. I've heard of another situation, like someone else told me this as well. I don't know what it is with the volatileness in society sometimes against women. So, but I'm glad that you're getting out of that relationship. Eleanor, I'm glad that you're moving out of that relationship. You wonder about incest. Lynn says she wonders about incest in a narc family since they have no morals or empathies or boundaries. It's quite possible. And I've definitely heard stories of narcissists sleeping with cousins and family members. That makes you want to speak with him. The fact that he was able to hit you, no, that should make you want to remove yourself away from him. You don't want to speak with him, sweetie. Yeah. Yeah, because usually that's not the only narcissist in our life. When we've attached ourselves with one narcissist, typically there are many. That's why we have to just generally clean house. Generally clean house. But Eleanor, also, I just want to say for you, talking with him is not going to benefit you. It's just going to lead to more offenses to you. You're going to cause more narc injuries to him, but who cares really about that? But in this situation, being as though there's domestic violence, you know, drawing him nearer to you is not going to be safe for you. You know, I wouldn't even do it to gather evidence. You know, like some people might put a camera up and try to, but that could, you know, backfire on you at that point. So you shouldn't want to talk to him about nothing. Yes, definitely. Definitely go into therapy, Eleanor, and I do coaching as well if you're interested. So Tracy, you're saying your narcissist hit you. You're welcome, Eleanor. Before talking to the police, or in front of the police? Not in front of the police, Tracy. I'm pretty sure he didn't do that. Yeah. And then the thing with these situations is never the first time, but we have to, moving forward, one and done. As soon as somebody fixing, I was saying talking to him won't change it. Oh yeah, definitely not. No. Talking to a narcissist is not going to change them. They're not listening to half of the stuff you say. But, you know, moving forward, when you're bringing people into your life, you have to observe them in this way. And you have to be one and done. We can't be forgiving as far as letting people have more chances with you after they're abusing you. And this goes beyond just physical abuse. Because in our society, you know, they like to only really recognize scars that they can see. Okay, and emotional abuse really doesn't have the biggest platform. That's how, you know, it would be great the day that these narcissists could have more accountability as far as the emotional abuse that they're causing people. What to do with family who don't believe you? Oh well, you don't have the energy to be trying to convince people. Cut them off. They're not for you. Sorry. It's hard to do sometimes because you're like, it's family, but I've made videos about letting go of titles. Letting go of titles in this world. Because blood ain't always thicker than water. And if they don't believe you, then that's basically saying they're not for you. Okay? And you gotta clean house with them too. Gotta be willing to let go. Gotta be willing to let go. You can't be breaking your back, bending over backwards, trying to prove something. They're basically calling you a liar. They're calling you a liar when they don't believe you. They don't have to literally say it, but they're showing you that they believe you're a liar at that point. Okay? And if this is your family, they've grown up with you, they've known you all your life, you know, that lets you know indirectly, what they feel about you. Okay, their silence, their lack of support once you let them know, that speaks volumes. So sometimes people are answering us, and we just gotta learn how to read those behaviors and stuff. They will make you out as batshit crazy. Yes, they were, Elizabeth. They will definitely try to make you look like the problem and that everybody's crazy. That's why you gotta just leave people where they are. And now you need that energy for yourself. Okay? All right, so do you guys have any more questions before I end this live chat? I just, you know, for the person out there, because I've talked to people in coaching sessions, they get so overwhelmed when they talk about finally ending this relationship with a narcissist. I do believe it, Tracy. But part of their karma is going to be not having us as well. We have to get out of the way of their karma. We have to get out of the way. As long as we're still there, forgiving them, coddling them, making excuses, being merciful and grace with them, we're blocking part of their karma minimally. Minimally, we're blocking part of their karma. So, yes, we have to step out of the way. We have to step out of the way. So Eleanor says, so true. It started with the emotional and escalated to physical. I avoided paying attention to all the red flags. Yeah, they're going to start. They're going to start there. You know, that's why they say a lot of time abusers and pedophiles, they are grooming their victims. They're grooming people. So yeah, they're not going to just come on day one typically and punch you in the face. They're going to start doing little nudges to see what your tolerance is, and then they're doing more and more and more. And before you know, like you said, it's escalated from the emotional abuse or the verbal abuse to the physical. And then it could be sexual abuse. You know, those are two separate, physical abuse and sexual abuse. Sexual abuse is a form of physical abuse, but physical abuse is really like the fighting, physical fighting. And of course, sexual abuse is the rape. All right, let me see. But you guys can do this, you know. It's going to be rough because going through a divorce is just rough, period. Breaking off a relationship, even if you weren't married, you could have been with that narcissist for 5, 6, 7 years, even if you never made it to marriage. You know, you have a lot to sort through. And I don't want you to feel like this is an impossible thing. It's going to take some time to heal yourself from that and heal your emotions. Lynn says, I do doubt myself because some families say, why would you stay so long with him? I do wonder that too because I had ignored my gut feelings. Well, you just answered it. You wonder why. It's because you ignored your gut feelings, number one. It's because you were trauma bonded, number two. Probably had a soul tie there. Stockholm syndrome. The narcissist gaslights you. So when you're standing up to yourself, to the narcissist, they're not acknowledging what they're doing to you. And because of your toxic family groomed you to be susceptible to this type of relationship. Look at what they're doing to you now that you're finally standing up for yourself and breaking away from a toxic situation. They sound really ignorant and uneducated about abuse. So everyone's not going to understand. And if you've come from a toxic environment and your upbringing, they're not going to understand because they're probably your original narcissist right there. Eleanor, but why do I still love the illusion of him? I have trouble detaching with my emotions. Even after the abuse, I feel like I'm a crazy person now. Well, because the illusion was you. The narcissist was mirroring you. Okay. So you fell in love with your own positive traits, but I'm glad that you do recognize that it's an illusion, Eleanor. And you're having trouble detaching with your emotions even after the abuse. That's the trauma bond. Because you were being sincere, even though the narcissist wasn't, but our brain releases chemicals that coincide with our dealings in these toxic relationships. And when the narcissist triggers us, those highs and lows, like a roller coaster, we're actually releasing hormones for that, and our brain gets a pattern going with the relationship. So we kind of live for those love bomb periods when they come back around, okay? Yeah. You're just, everything that you're saying right now is pretty typical, Eleanor. Oh, okay. It's pretty typical what you're going through. And it will make you feel like a crazy person. That's what they really want. That's what they really want. Stockholm syndrome, let's go ahead and talk about that. I made a video about that, Tracy. She just asked me what it was. Right, yeah, in the beginning it's a little raw. But go through my videos. I have almost 300. Okay. But the Stockholm Syndrome, it was created from a bank robbery in which, even though these bankers came and kidnapped the people at the bank, the people had so much grace and mercy for the bank robbers for doing little acts of kind deeds to them. Okay. And I made a video that just talks about it real specifically. So it's basically when you are grateful to your abuser for throwing you crumbs of kindness here and there. That's what that is, Tracy, the Stockholm Syndrome. So even though they're technically abusing you, so let's say I was a slave on a field and, you know, you're my master, you're abusing me, but you gave me a water break. I was so thirsty and you allowed me to get water. And you're basically appreciating the fact that they allowed you to get this water. And you're letting that override the fact that you're enslaving me, but you're feeding me and giving me water. You're giving me acts of kindness, and they aren't really acts of kindness, because the slave owner knows that they have to feed you and nourish you so that you can continue to live and be the slave. You know, but it's a mental thing where we are magnifying any perceived good deed that our abuser is doing for us and minimizing the negative things that are occurring. You know, I've seen this situation with a person, you know, where the narcissist is abusing me, but they're paying all my bills. I love them for taking care of me, but you're getting bones broken and, you know, you're having repercussions as well. So good morning, Shauna. No contact, you will start healing, but you can't until you go 1,000% no contact. That's true. You have to remove yourself from the situation. Hello, Kamora. So we've been talking about a wide range of topics, guys, for those of you that are just tuning in. So you might have seen yourself do something like that. And sometimes the Stockholm Syndrome makes it hard. Why is it hard? Why is no contact so hard? BX Cutie for Life 2007 asks, why is no contact so hard? It's so hard because the relationship is so awkward. Number one, you're not getting validation. Number two, you're not getting closure. So you feel like you have unspoken things. You feel like you have things to get off your chest. And, you know, you're left in a state of not being able to release it on the narcissist. But the good news is you can release it in other ways. And no contact could be difficult because the narcissist might be trying to trigger you. You know, they're reaching out to you and, you know, whatever they feel like your strongholds or vulnerabilities are, or your flesh. You might be going against your flesh, so that could make no contact hard when you're trying to break a soul tie. Or you actually genuinely felt like you cared and loved this person and they were enmeshed in your daily routines. No contact is going to feel devastating at first. And that's why I made a video about filling the voids. You have to fill the voids when you go no contact, Eleanor. And also for BX Cutie for Life 2007. You got to fill voids. It's so hard because your emotions are tied up in it. You know, there's so many reasons why no contact can be hard, but those are just some of them. We have to fill the voids with other things. They saw God in your eyes, a light they wanted to extinguish. Satan hates God so much. It's so true. My ex-narcissist puts up videos slamming Jesus Christ and just, they don't want to hear anything about God. Another former narcissist of mine, I wanted to get marriage counseling from a preacher at a church to make sure that we were ready. He didn't want any parts of that. He didn't want any parts of that. We had no spirituality in our relationship. So they don't like it. They don't like that. And then actually there are other narcissists that you will meet in a church, but they are the wolf in sheep's clothing. They act holier than thou, and they'll use the religion against you. So we have those kind of narcissists as well now. So don't be fooled by that. You think you need email counseling because you're struggling to not talk to this dude. Okay, well, that's definitely doable. Just email CoachLakia@gmail.com. That's CoachLakia @gmail.com. And we can set that up for you. Yes, I always recommend that people make that list. Make that list of the things that they did so that we don't lose our perspective. You're welcome. And I've made videos as well, BX Cutie for Life 2007, like reasons why not to go back to the narcissist. Like, these were recent videos. I made a part 1, 6 reasons, another part 2, 6 reasons. I've made specific videos about cutting your losses and going no contact. But yeah, personalized therapy is always going to be better, because we can get real specific. You know, I try to make videos that will speak to the general amount of people that are going to be listening. You know, I try to talk in general terms and categories that most people will fall under. But that's the benefit of personalized therapy. You can get the one-on-one and be very specific. It took my personalized therapy took my healing to the next level. You did a video talking about trauma bond that was very informative and helpful. Oh, thank you, Ayana. Did I pronounce that right? Ayana, yeah. I saw those videos. They were extremely helpful whenever I plant my discard. Good. Kamora says, I just found out my husband has another family. He has 3 kids and 1 on a way. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. Yeah, they hide children. I remember earlier in life, because I think most of my main relationships before I got healthy as far as healing my codependency, I was dealing with a narcissist, and he told me he didn't have children. He didn't even claim the children that he had. They'll say anything to be what they think you want them to be. He lied about his age. Like, I'm serious. If you were dealing with a narcissist, they may not have even given you their real name. This is why you guys really have to watch my video. I did a part 1 and a part 2 on trust. Please watch those videos. It's going to help you in this world out here where there are predators. Yes, they are pathological liars, whatever they need to say. And you have to be careful of the Hoover. And, you know, we didn't talk about that too much, but all last week, I talked about the Hoover in depthly. So please look at my videos from like last week. And then there's other videos in my playlist as well. But when you try to break away, they're going to try to Hoover you back a lot of times, especially if you were married. If you were married or in that type of situation with them, they're going to try to Hoover you they'll try it with kindness at first. Don't be fooled by that. Don't be fooled by that. They'll tell you everything you want to hear, offer you the world, just to get that door cracked, to get their foot back in and get you talking to them again. All of a sudden, they're going into a treatment facility, maybe, to deal with these demons. They're really going to get it fixed this time. Things are going to be better. You know, they're going to try to restart a love bomb phase with you. And, you know, if they really want to keep that marriage with you and keep that image, or don't want to be outed, or don't want their consequences, or don't want you to press charges, they will do everything they can. And you will see that it is just to get what they want. And then after they get that, it's back to business, baby, or even worse. Gina says she went no contact from a narc female friend, burglarized her house, stole her mother's cremated ashes to hurt her. Oh my gosh. I made a video about female narcissists, and I really think that they are typically more vicious than the men. I really feel that. I really feel that about the female narcissists. Eleanor says, you got that. They're professionals and will hoover you as their goals. Yes. Don't give them, they are, they've been doing this for a long time, but don't put them on a throne, Eleanor. Don't make them bigger and badder than you. You can outsmart this narcissist. You can make a clean break. Okay? Kamora says, so yes, I was shocked about all of this. Yeah. I talk about the narcissist trapdoor. There are always things that they want to keep hidden. They want to keep it hidden from the supply. They only tell you what they want you to perceive. Ayana says, there is no low that they wouldn't sink to. Absolutely not. Absolutely no low. That's the thing. You can't put anything past them. And people want to think that they can. Well, they did this, but they wouldn't do that. Oh, yes, they would. Oh, yes, they would. This is why I said don't reveal to the narcissist, guys. I talked about this earlier and why you're not going to out them, particularly if you're married to them, particularly if you're still living with them. So please go back to the beginning of the video, and if you need more advice on this, on why you should keep your mouth shut, why you are planning and strategizing the best way to get rid of this person. Lynn says, not that they miss you, they want to get back in control. Yes, sometimes a narcissist will just hoover you back so that they can dump you. Just don't fall for it. They're very evil. I remember my former narcissist did all this stuff to me, and then he says, we can fix this if you apologize. Yeah, right. It'll be the coldest day in hell when I apologize to this person for anything. And trust me, don't be gullible like that, because sometimes we want to be the bigger person. And we'll say, you know what, I wasn't the wrong one, but I want to keep my marriage. I want to work things out. I'll just be the one to apologize. Or I want to keep this relationship. I want it to work out. I'll just be the one to apologize. All they're going to do is take that apology and run it with their smear campaign. See, she's apologizing. I told you. And then they might actually throw that in your face. So they'll take your apology and still dump you. This is how vicious these people are. This is how vicious they are. So you can't ever fall for the okie doke with them. Trust me, it will hurt you. It will hurt you. And now you're going to be pissed at yourself because you apologized for something you never did and they still discarded you. I don't want you to get hurt like that. I don't want you to. So I'm trying to open you guys' eyes to the maliciousness, the nastiness, the vindictive and conniving ways of these people. Watch my part 1 and part 2 on trust. And it will get worse because every time you take them back, they're going to, what do they have to prove to you at that point? Kimura says, I didn't or don't tell him nothing about me and the things that I'm doing. Yeah. Eleanor says, I fell in my discard twice and went back. You're right. He ended up discarding me in the rage. Yeah, he just wanted that control. They don't want to feel like they're the ones that got dumped. Because even I've had situations where I discarded a narcissist and then they'll say, well, you can just go. Like after I already told you to go, they just got to say it because they don't want to feel it. He was starting to feel the abandonment issues. So, because they have their own issues with attachments and abandonment. That's why they always got to have somebody else lined up so they would never really feel alone. They don't want to feel that. These people's downfall is attention. Yeah, they needy. Ugh, are they? They always need. Yeah, ghost them. That'll be interesting because even if they discard you and you don't say nothing, you don't try to fight, you don't ask any questions, they might wonder about that because they're expecting your world to fall apart for you to be so hurt and crushed and devastated, and then they just see you moving on with your life and being happy and just saying, oh, well, thank you. I wanted you to leave, They would like raise their eyebrows to that, like, I wasn't that important. Their life didn't revolve around me. They do. They treat you very poorly, Kimura. It is. It's very awful, Gina. It's scary how they all behave the same. I know. Oh my gosh. Hey, Sheila. How are you? Sheila True Love in the building. I've watched some of your videos, Sheila. Thank you for, helping out the community. Yes, it is. Aw. Well, we've had a nice live chat today. No, thank you, Sheila. You're helping, especially like the one video where you talked about the domestic violence. And we have some survivors on here. And you were giving the examples. I've seen a few videos of yours where you give examples of women who've really got hurt staying in that narcissistic relationship. So I do recommend that you guys go over to Sheila's channel, Sheila True Love, and some of you might already follow her. She has a lot with domestic violence. What to do if the narcissist is not hoovering you, but you can tell that they are getting frustrated? Well, if they're not hoovering you, that's a great thing. You shouldn't want the narcissist hoover. You shouldn't want that. If they're not hoovering you, that means that they feel like their hoover would be a failed attempt, or they're busy with a new supply. Yes, we are. They're busy with the new supply, or they feel like their hoover would not work. Sometimes they know that they really pissed you off and they want to give you that time. That's why they'll give you that time, and then they'll try to test you to see if time has made you less angry and make you gullible for their hoover again. So, but you shouldn't want them to hoover, and they might be frustrated to know that they shouldn't hoover you because they don't want to be rejected. They're going to hoover when they think that they will get what they want. So yeah, that could make them frustrated, and oh well, that's a part of their karma, not getting you back, Marissa. That's a great thing. Now run with that. Keep the upper hand and keep your strength. They do, Eleanor. Yes, we are all in this together, and thank God that we have these communities. I have to go to work or I will be late. Everyone stay strong, remain no contact. Okay, I know this is an early one, but I'm really with the kids and the twins. I don't really set a schedule with these live chats. I just do them I'm spontaneous with it. That's why you guys have to hit the bell, though. Sheila True Love says, trust and believe you don't want them to hoover. Narcissists only get worse with time. Yes, they do, honey. Good, Marissa. And I have videos about the hoover. All last week I talked about it. So check those out, Marissa, when you can. And I even did a live chat on the narcissist hoover at the end of the week to really recap. I did like 10 videos last week talking about hoovers. Sheila True Love says, I've got to get back to work as well. Love you all. Thank you. Aw, thanks for dropping in and showing love. I'm about to wrap things up too. BX Cutie for Life 2007, they are very vindictive. I'm currently in discard, no contact phase. The hoovering is coming. I know if I go back, he's going to try to hurt me for hurting him. Absolutely. That's why I really don't want to go back. Okay, we got to take that really out of there, BX Cutie for Life 2007. You don't want to go back. That really is making me feel nervous for you right now. Elizabeth, just a suggestion, write down the low down, dirty, shifty stuff they have done and look at it when you want to hear from them. Let's see. Absolutely. Hold on a minute. Someone's calling me from California. I think it might be someone with a session, but it's later on. Dawn, if that's you, we have the session is later on in the evening. 4 o'clock your time, 7 p.m. mine. But I'm going to give you a call. Yes, I do recommend it. Write down that list. And I've said this in many other videos of what they did so that you're not losing your perception, you know, because perception becomes reality. If you're stuck on the love bomb phase, which is completely fake, I made a video debunking the love bomb phase. I highly recommend that. But just hit me up, BXQT for Life 2007 for the email coaching if you would like. I'd rather you email me than a narcissist, sweetie. Some narcs are fatal attraction and will try to hurt one. Be careful. Absolutely. And women have lost their life. Many, 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 many. But guys, I'm going to wrap up this this live chat. It was really great. Aw, God bless you too, Eleanor. You're going to be all right, sweetie. You're going to be all right. Just stay no contact, especially with the domestic violence. Okay, guys? So you guys have a blessed day. You're welcome, Kimora. Have a blessed day and stay strong. Stay strong. All of you should have a playlist of videos, even if it's not mine. You're welcome, Gina. That keeps you strong. If you email me, if you email CoachLakia@gmail.com, I will personally send you the videos that I leaned on when I was healing from narcissistic abuse. And these videos are very powerful. They were for me, and I'm pretty sure they will help you as well with detachment, with the abuse part, with forgiveness, all this stuff. Oh my gosh, I leaned on these videos and played them over and over and over and over. So if you email CoachLakia@gmail.com, I will send you, it's about 6 or 7 videos, and they're like at least an hour long. And they really kept me so strong. Okay? All right, guys. So be blessed and take care. And, you know, I'm going to try to live chat more frequently. Okay? I'm going to, great, Kimora, and I'll shoot it right back to you. All right? And my email address is in most of my videos. I'll put it under this live chat after it finished. I can't do it while it's, you know, while it's actually recording. Enjoy your day too, and I look forward to hearing from you, BXQT for Life. Okay, Marissa, you know I'm a huge music head, and I love Tamia, even though she married Grant Hill. I used to be obsessed with Grant Hill. Anita Baker introduced them, and she just really ruined my life. I had such a crush on Grant Hill. Oh, thank you, Compy. Thank you. I got this from the African Art Museum here in Philly, and I just really love it. I got like some other pieces from there as well. And I rarely ever wear them, but yeah. To me, it's beautiful though, inside and out. So it's really not any real hate there. Don't want you guys to think that. Aw, thank you, Kimora. All right, guys. So let me get out of here before the twins wake up and they're going to be all in the background in a minute. I'm here on Eastern time, so still early. All right, I'm going to be doing more live chats, and you know, you can always email me if there's topics and videos that you want me to talk about. You can comment down here too. Aw, thank you. You know, it's summertime, so, you know, and I'm wearing a lot of protective styles because my hair is natural, and I love that. I love that. I stopped perming it like maybe 6 years ago now, and I got that thick hair, and I love it, but it is a lot to manage. It's a lot to manage. But I went no heat for like 6 months to grow my hair out, and then I went to go get my hair done, and this lady chopped all my new growth off. I was so devastated. It's still long, like to here, but I was just so devastated that I put it back in the hiding, because the whole idea was for me to wear my hair out this summer, but it's really going to be starting next spring, and by then my hair will probably be to here. Girl, I'm going to be having my waves and my fro. What? Good morning, Beverly. I love my hair care, but yeah, I just keep the protective styles right now, and if you treat your hair good, you can retain an inch of growth, because your hair typically grows an inch per month. So, you know, a year from now, I could be down 12 more inches, really. But, you know, I'll say that I'll at least retain 7 inches, I'm thinking. So I'm really excited about wearing it back out. Have you used wild growth oils? Not wild growth oils, but I have used coconut oil. I've used grapeseed oil. There's another one that I'm leaving out. Olive oil in my hair as well. You know, you can make your own natural sprays with the water. And I love Cantu products. Oh my gosh, I'm so in love with Cantu. Yeah, I'll have to look into the wild oils. But yeah, nobody should be using baby oil in 2018 on their body or anything. That's like a synthetic man-made oil. Like, at least go get yourself some olive oil. The cooking oil is all the same. Not the vegetable, of course, or the canola or whatever, but like olive oil for cooking, you could use that, you know, in your hair, on your skin and stuff like that. But all right, guys. Because guys, we always talk about baby oils. Maybe that's a guy thing, but I'm like, get with the time. It's not the 90s anymore, even though I love my 90s music. But yes, no baby oil. All right, guys, take care.